I was trying to hurry up and get it done before I came live, but I only got like 2 minutes left, maybe 3. So I just wanted to go ahead and start the live. Good morning, y'all. I'm gonna be off camera for just maybe it's like 2 or 3 minutes while I finish up these eggs. Oh, actually, I can bring you with me and just put you on the counter. Hold on, I could do this. I did send G's a message. I wonder if it's G Easy and I've been saying G's this whole time. I don't know. But I did send Greg a message and we'll see if he'll be joining us. He won't I don't think he'll be able to join the live, but we'll see if we can get his input on this topic because it's actually a good one. So if you haven't already watched the video, hey Sway, happy Sunday. Um, If you haven't already watched the live, not live, I'm sorry, the pre-upload that I did, then you'll have to watch it after this conversation because this is going to be based on that video. Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping, or I guess it's not really housekeeping. So the video that I just posted, I posted it for the members first, and I got some feedback from Jen, which I'm going to cover in this live. Okay, so give me 1 second. Hold on, give me a second. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm tired, y'all. I've been live a lot. I was live yesterday and a little tipsy from my apple teenies. Yeah. So I've been live a lot. I'm trying to get this camera in a good place. Okay. My eggs are the last thing that I have to make, so sorry for the mess in the background. He's probably gonna be mad at me, like. Oh, hey Michelle. Okay, you're headed to the gym. Okay, have fun. I'm missing something. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we're going to be covering titration and specifically why I did not titrate up to the 10 milligrams sooner, even more specifically when I switched to brand. Now, for those that don't know, I spent 6 or 7, I think I spent 6 months on some compound that didn't work for me. And if you see whiteness, I spilled pancake mix all over me. I spent 6 or 7 months on some compound that didn't work for me, and then when I was done with it, I switched over to brand. And Jen's question was, why didn't I switch to 10 milligram when I decided to go to brand? Why didn't I just titrate up? And my answer was that I was just too stubborn to titrate up. So she wanted to know why. Like, what's the point? And there's a few different pieces to that. Okay, now when I was doing my research to get started on Zepbound, I at the time a year ago it was a big deal, like the people that were maxing out and hadn't reached their goals. So I had already came into it with the idea that I did not want to titrate up too quickly. Now, with that being said, the reason obviously that I was on, well, first I made the mistake of buying a 6 month supply of one dose. I don't recommend that unless you are already in maintenance. I made the mistake of buying a 6 month supply of 7.5. Not only was it not good quality, it was not what I needed, but it allowed me to stay on that dose longer than I needed to because I couldn't titrate up until I got rid of it. So why didn't I titrate up when I did run out of it and I switched to brand? Well, one, I wanted to give the brand of the same dose a shot. I wanted to give it a shot because I wanted to see if the issue was the actual dose that I was on or was it the weakness of the compound. Now, at first, the answer was it was the compound because when I switched to Zepbound at 7.5, it was exactly what I needed. It did exactly what I needed to do as far as food noise, as far as appetite suppression. It did everything it needed it to do. So there was no reason for me to titrate up. But I quickly got used to the 7.5 brand, and which makes sense because I had already been on that dose for 6 or 7 months prior. So I got used to it really quickly. And I'm currently at a point of where I'm on my last box of 7.5, and then I'll be titrating up to the 10. Now, Jim made a point of like, uh, why, like essentially, why delay your titration? You don't get a prize for not titrating up. And to that, I say one of the main reasons why I didn't want to titrate up sooner, on like one of the reasons why I try to stay on each dose as long as possible is because I truly don't believe that the answer to every problem while being on a GLP-1, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, I don't believe the answer to every problem is to just titrate up to the next dose when you're having an issue. As you come in, please double tap the screen to like the stream. Make sure you share and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. I do not have the chat on members, subscribers only, but if we start getting trolled or anything, then I will switch it. But for now, it seems like we're doing okay. So I'm gonna get into how I feel about this whole titration thing. And why I don't feel like it's as simple as, oh, I'm not losing weight or I'm having trouble with my appetite. Let's just go up to the next level. I get that that's how the medication works or is promoted, but I don't believe in that for myself. Okay. Good morning, everyone. As you come in, like the stream, I don't believe in that for myself because I have spent so many years of my life struggling with my weight. Sometimes, actually, many times being successful at losing weight, but the part that I've always struggled with is the ability to keep it off. But the only reason I've struggled with that is because the things that I have done to lose weight, I stop doing them once I get to a weight that I'm quote unquote comfortable at. So, if I lose 20 pounds or so and I feel and look good and feel confident, I get lazy and I stop doing the things that worked for me. So, it's never been that I didn't know how to lose weight, but I didn't know how to keep it off because I never allowed my habits to remain long term. Now, with switching, with getting on a GLP-1, that same attitude applies, right? So I believe that Zepbound is a tool that we are to utilize, and I'm very grateful to have this tool. However, how are you or anyone like how is a person supposed to know how to maintain their progress if they never have to have any skin in the game? And what I mean by that is, you know how oftentimes people on GLP-1, wow, he had butter and I bought butter. Okay, whatever. That's what I get for not checking the fridge. Oftentimes people on the GLP-1 get accused of cheating or doing things the easy way or whatever, not doing things the natural way. Well, what they don't know is that it's actually really hard to lose weight, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not. Like losing weight when you're on a GLP-1 is not necessarily easy. It's easier than trying to do it without a GLP-1, but it's not necessarily easy. Now, for those that consider it easy, is because they just don't eat. Okay, well, if just not eating is the answer, then you can do that without a GLP-1, right? So just the objective of being on a GLP-1 is not to just never want to eat. So that's first of all, that's one reason why I didn't titrate up sooner. I believe in learning. I don't believe in using a GLP-1 to 100% block all of my natural hunger signals or cravings or feelings about food. I don't I know that Zepbound is really good at turning those things off or turning them down, but at the end of the day, there's only so many doses or there's only so many titration levels to go through before you run out of levels, and they can come out with more with higher levels of Zepbound or doses if they want. But like I said, at the end of the day, titrating up can't be the only answer. It is a tool, it is a method, but it's not the only answer. So when I was on the 7.5, I wanted to not run away from some of the issues that I was having. So like that 6 months that I stalled out, I didn't just stall out because my compound was bad. I didn't. I stalled out because the compound was bad and I didn't take that opportunity to learn the things that I needed to learn about, or to make the changes that I needed to make that were within my control. So let's say for the 6 months I had done everything correctly. I had worked out the way I was supposed to. I changed my diet the way I was supposed to. I was hydrating and resting the way I was supposed to. And then I still didn't lose weight. Then I could 100% blame the compound. But I wasn't doing that stuff. Like I was doing it off and on. So I was able to maintain my weight, but I wasn't able to lose any more weight. Now, I know that Zepbound is described as a weight loss drug. However, you can't. What happens if you take Zepbound, but you change nothing about your lifestyle? Let's say you're taking Zepbound for weight loss, and your weight gain in the first place was related to food, not other medical ailments or anything like that. Let's just say it was related to food and lifestyle choices, and then you take Zepbound to help you make some progress, but you never change anything about your lifestyle. Will you lose weight? Possibly, yes, in the beginning. But then people like that don't know what to do when they stall. They don't know what to do when they stall. I feel like that also applies to people that feel like the answer is always to just titrate up. When they stall or when they cannot meet their goals, the reason that they titrate up is because they don't make an effort to try other things first. Like maybe try reducing the carbs in your diet and upping your protein for satiety. Maybe try adding some exercise. Maybe try adding some hydration. Maybe try adding some electrolytes. Maybe try this, try that, try this, try that. But if you're always at a point of, I don't want to drink water because Zepbound doesn't takes away my desire to drink. I don't want to eat because Zepbound takes away my desire to eat. Okay, so if you're never hungry and you're never thirsty, how are you supposed to know? Like, how are you supposed to take it seriously? How important it is to actually have those things. Hey, Turtle Diaries. Hello, hello. How are you supposed to take those things seriously if they're constantly being blunted? In that aspect, I feel like Zepbound is being used as a crutch. If you never want to feel hunger and you never feel thirst and you never desire food, to me, I mean, also at the time, I had the anxiety of never knowing when compound was going to be taken away from me. So I used to say, like, look, you never know what's going to happen with these medications. As far as brand, you never know when there's going to be another shortage. And as far as compound, you never know when compound could potentially be taken away for the majority of people. What are you going to do? Or your insurance just stops covering the medication and you can't afford it. Or you, God forbid, lose your job. What are you going to do if you cannot get your hands on this medication? Hi, Nicole. Hi, Harji. What are you going to do if you can't get your hands on this medication? That was my objective. I need to know what to do. Am I too loud? A little bit? I can go in the room. I just finished cooking. He can't even hear me. Hello? No, he can't hear me. Okay, so let me take these eggs out of this pan. Hold on. So there was a lot of motivating factors. That was one of them, the insecurity, people losing access because of affordability, insurance, because of medication availability, or telehealth companies quitting, or, I had a plate right there, or compounding pharmacies quitting. People were losing access left and right. And I don't want anyone to ever lose access to their medication. I know I don't want to lose access. That could be really devastating. But the other side of that is, but what if? What if? I'm not willing to be 50 pounds heavier, 60 pounds heavier again. I'm not. I'm not willing to go through that. So like, if there was ever a time where I couldn't afford this medication anymore, I need to know what to do. And even if I have access to this medication forever, that doesn't absolve me of the responsibility of knowing what to do. Because let's say I hypothetically have to titrate up to the 15 milligram to get to my goal. Okay, fine. I got to titrate up to the 15 milligram to get to my goal. But what if I don't get there? Then what? I just accept the fact. Oh, y'all gonna hear Tommy snoring now. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, I just put everything in the microwave until he decides to wake up. But he doesn't like to sleep in his room. He's a couch sleeper. My mom was the same way. I don't know what it is. Uh some people just prefer a sofa. Anyway, we're gonna oh, the toilet seat is, oh no, it's not. I was gonna say the toilet seat. We're gonna sit in the bathroom so we can be quiet. But oh, if I lose access, I'm gonna take someone else's. Yeah, South Park did an episode about that, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was absolutely, it was absolutely hilarious. Oh my god, people are gonna think I'm using the bathroom. This is not a good idea. Let me go get. Hold on, give me a second. People are gonna think I'm like using the toilet. Hold on. This is better. I had to go get a chair. Okay. All right. So, do y'all hear this like spa music he has going on here? Let me unplug that. Okay. He gets his own place and then starts caring about ambiance. Guys, whatever. Okay, so oh, and the lighting in here is not good, but whatever. Okay, so I feel like I'm jumping around, but for one, I didn't want to titrate up too quickly, okay? But the context of this point about why didn't you just titrate up sooner is because I was talking about in the video that I just uploaded how I was in Amsterdam and I was pretty much eating everything in sight. But that was by choice. That was by choice. I always talk about how on my 7.5 milligram I can eat whatever I want. I just can. Like, and because I still have weight to lose, do I necessarily want to be in that position? No, I don't. So I will be titrating up, but that's because I've already done all of the other things. Like, I've already started working out. I've already checked my rest and my hydration. I've already, not during my trip in Amsterdam, but I've already made some of the dietary changes that I need. And I saw success. I saw 11 pounds down in June and another 6 in July. So the last thing for me to change is my dose. That's it. That's the last thing for me to change. But I don't want to be in a position where I don't believe in struggling to lose weight. Someone else left me a comment about this before. When I stretched my dose, they were like, and then I went back to 7 days. They were like, good for you, take your dose. Basically, there's no point in trying to willpower your way through this. I disagree. I disagree. I am in the middle on this, okay? I'm not on the extreme of never take a GLP-1 and do it the natural way, but I'm also not on the extreme of if things get hard, just go up to the next dose. I'm not on that extreme either. I'm in the middle. I am the person that believes Zepbound is a tool. Find the right dose for you. Titrate up until you get to the right dose for you. And once you're at that dose, if it feels like it's starting to not work for you anymore, there's a checklist that I go through before I decide it's time to titrate up. Because I don't feel like the answer is just a stronger dose. Like, I don't. I don't feel like that's all that has to always be the answer. Now, I don't believe in forcing yourself to struggle, but I do believe in experiencing a little bit of a challenge so that the habits that you're building can stick. If it's too easy, like just deciding not to eat anymore, that's not gonna work in the long term. It's not gonna work in the long term. And that's what a lot of people have done. They get on Zepbound, they expect to never eat, so they don't, so they lose all the weight and they keep taking Zepbound and they just, that's their new life. And I'm like, if you like it, I love it, but that ain't for me. That ain't for me. So it's not necessarily, and it was good feedback. I actually just got another comment, so no, we gotta address that other one on stereo. Journey of Life's comment. We're gonna be talking about binge eating on stereo tonight. I said it was at 8, but I'm not sure. It might be at 5. I gotta double check. But so we're gonna be talking about food addiction and all of those things tonight. But as far as like not getting a prize for not titrating up, it's not necessarily about a prize or some sort of like gratification. It's just that for me, and geez, I'll read your comments in a second. I'm sorry if I've been missing them. But for me, there's just certain things I need to learn how to do. And I need to learn them in such a way that they will stick. So for me, it has to be a little bit on the harder side because I tend to lean toward, okay, let's say I have a food addiction. I've never been evaluated, so I don't know, but I move as if I do. So let's just assume that I do. Things are going to be a lot different for me long term than someone like, I think, yeah, Jen was one of the people that didn't have a problem with food necessarily. Her lifestyle and schedule just and birth control caused a lot of weight gain. So it wasn't necessarily like a relationship with food that was the problem. Her hormones and her lifestyle was the problem, which Zepbound helped with. So she wouldn't have the same struggle with food, meaning that she wouldn't have the same struggle saying no to certain things or moderate in certain things, whereas I do. So in order for my habits to change and to stick, it has to be, it's already harder for me, but I can't run from it being hard. You know what I mean? Like I can't run from the hunger. I need to learn how to deal with it and work out my relationship with the hunger. I can't run from the cravings. The answer isn't to just crush the food noise for the rest of my life. That would be wonderful if I can figure out that. That would be great. But like I said, no matter what happens, there is a ceiling for Zepbound. So if I potentially hit that ceiling, then what? As far as like, how will I deal with a potential food addiction for the rest of my life? I want to figure that out now. And if I titrate up too quickly, I'm masking the symptoms that I need to deal with. I'm just masking those problems. I'm not learning from them, if that makes any sense. So G says it's not at all, but there are exceptions as well, such as circumstances such as an injury, disability. But if you're able bodied, you have to do all the things first. Yeah, like some people have hormonal issues that are outside of their control. Outside of their control, when I mean like you can't turn it off and on, but obviously you can seek hormone replacement therapy and all of that. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your therapist. Go talk to your doctor and the local scientist down at the community college, okay? Let me see. Delilah says, even as a type 2 diabetic, I'm always afraid of losing access. I have coworkers who can't get the insurance to cover for them. Yeah. Yeah. I'm stalled, but I can't blame compound, even though it isn't as strong as it was in the past. That was Turtle Diaries. Yeah. I've been having a problem with my eyes for the past couple of days. I think I need to take a break from the screen time because my eyes have been getting really blurry. Makes sense. How long before you felt like normal and not a nauseous, tired zombie? Oh my gosh, I don't miss those days. That was like my first 12 weeks. It probably took me about so I started in July. So August, September, October, November. It probably took me about 3 or 4 months before I could like function normally. Because when I say me and my bed were inseparable, it was awful. But part of that was me figuring out the proper way to eat. One, I wasn't eating enough. And two, I was hyper focused on the things that worked when I wasn't on Zepbound. So when you do get on Zepbound, there's certain changes that you don't necessarily need to make, right? So you have to figure out what works for you. So before Zepbound, fasting and low carb was how I would get my weight in check, and it worked every single time if I could get to the point of doing it and sticking with it. When I got on Zepbound, I tried those same tactics and it wasn't as effective because I had a medication giving me a lot of help. I didn't need as much of those tactics. Now I still sprinkle them in because it's good for me in my lifestyle, fasting and sometimes reducing my carbs. I cycle in and out of high carb. It just depends on how I feel and how my weight loss is going. Do you need a blue light blocking filter? I have one on my glasses and it's supposed to be on my phone, but I've been turning it off lately. Um, Let me turn it on. Okay. Oh yeah, that helped a lot. Because I'm goofy, so it doesn't matter. I've been turning it off lately, and I've been forgetting to turn it back on. So I just turned it on. Only dose I had fatigue on was 10. I only took it 1 month, but I may be going back to it in a month or two. What month are you? I mean, not what month. What dose are you on now? Geez. I had the extreme fatigue on 5 milligram when I was with Hollandale, and that was some strong compound. That was some strong compound. Hollandale has some good compound, but man, that stuff wore me out. It wore me out. So I didn't get beyond that until about 3 or 4 months in, maybe two. Maybe I'm over estimating how long it took, but it definitely took at least 8 weeks. Like it was a long time. And I say more like 12. 7.5. So you went to the 10 and then titrated back down. Why did you titrate back down? If you said it already, I missed it. So because I still have more weight to lose, I'm willing to titrate up because I do need a little bit of resistance so that I can figure out the tools I need to build better habits. But I don't want to struggle, and I don't want to take 5 years to lose the next 50 pounds, right? So I will be titrating up because it's available for me. It's available for me to use it, so I'm gonna use it. I felt like I have done all of the things, not to 100%, but to maybe about 70, 75%. And that's good enough for me. Like, I don't believe in necessarily putting in 100% effort every single day. I'm at about 75% and I'm already getting burnt out. So it just is what it is. I'm a team Zepbound for lifer. So I don't have a problem with Zepbound. I am more open to titration than I was in the beginning. I'm more open-minded to titrating up. Whereas before I was like, I never even want to see a 10 milligram, let alone a 12.5 or a 15. Now that I've gotten a chance to talk with some people and realize it's not all just craziness, I don't mind titrating up. I stayed on 7.5, like I said, for too long because I had a 6 month supply. So I ended up on 7.5 for about 8 or 9 months or something like that. Sometimes I say 8, sometimes I say 10, but it's because I've lost track at this point. It was definitely at least 6 for compound, and at least I'm on my third box. So this will be at least the third month on brand. So that's about 9 months it'll be. So I will be going up to the 10 next month. Now, obviously with Zepbound vials, they are single use, single puncture. So if I get to the 10 and it's too strong for me, I can't moderate it. I just got to work through it. or I can titrate back down to the 7.5. But oh, you did a video on it, heart rate increase. I must have missed it. Is it? I don't have my other phone in here. I've been behind on you guys' updates. 80/20. I'm an all or nothing kind of girl. I'm so bad at it though. Like, I guess it depends on what we're talking about. Like, when it comes to moderation, certain things I can't moderate, so I just remove them completely. Like, the things that trigger me the most, I just don't even bother. I don't even bother. Okay. Okay, G. Is it G's or is it G-Easy? If it's G's, put 1. If it's G-Easy, put 2. I know it's Greg, but I prefer to call people by their YouTube names because I just like it. You mentioned it in several. Okay. I be forgetting. It's so many. Like, between people commenting their journey updates and then me watching the videos, there's so many. Like, so I'll watch it and then I'll forget. But so does anybody have any questions about titration or about my reasoning for not titrating up as quickly? Or does anyone have any pushback? Does anyone disagree? Has anyone had their own problems or concerns with titration? 17 people watching. Please take a moment to double tap the screen and like the stream. When I ask people about moving up, it's not about being vain. Pun intended. As a pharmacist, I don't recommend a patient to take a med that's not working, so my thoughts come from somewhere else. Yeah, no. Yeah, but see, to be honest with you, Jen, my 7.5 compound did not help with the food noise, but it did everything else. But the food noise suppression is the best part of Zepbound. So the 7.5 was working about 70% of the way because I didn't gain any weight. I have never been able to maintain the same weight for so long. So if I was in maintenance, I would have been fine because I stayed within a 5-pound fluctuation for 6 months without one major backslide. So it did work. It did help control my appetite, but it didn't help with the food noise. So I was still able to, I won't say it didn't help. With the food noise, I think I would say it helped some. Like, I didn't want to eat everything all the time, but I could, like, there was nothing that I couldn't eat. You know what I mean? Whereas when I switched to Zepbound, sugar was almost immediately like, we're not doing that. And fatty foods. So it took some time for me to be able to eat those. Like, it took about a month for me to be able to really enjoy those things again. So yeah, so coming from as a pharmacist, so yes, so not working, I would agree. If your dose is not working, then I would agree. It's definitely, there's no, titrating up is a no-brainer. That's why, so when I said a few moments ago, like, people should get to the dose that's working for them, like to the dose that's allowing them to lose weight. But I never want to be so, I don't want to say crippled by Zepbound, but I don't want to have such a crutch that I don't even have to try. That's not good for me in my personality type. It's not good for me. It's really not. Oh, I didn't follow you through the compounding fiasco, but after 6 weeks, I would have told you to give it up. I would have been afraid of what were you taking at that point. I already had the medicine. I wasn't going to throw it away. That's what happened. I wanted to, but I had already paid for it. Compounding was working for me for 2.5, 5. Yeah, for the 5, I was doing fine. I was losing, not slow, let me not say that, but I was losing about a pound to a pound and a half per week. Per week, which in the GLP-1 world feels slow, but I know that that's healthy weight loss. I lost 56 pounds in a year. That's roughly a pound per week. So up until the 5 milligram, compounding was working for me. Then the fiasco happened with the FDA and they started making changes to the compound. So I had 1 month of compound with glycine at 6 point something milligrams. It was like nothing. So I didn't even try again with that company anymore. That was Fridays. I had been getting my compound from Fridays the entire time through Hollandale. And I was losing weight. When Hollandale stopped, Fridays rerouted to Red Rock and they added glycine and it was like a 6 point something something dose. And they told me that it wouldn't be as potent. They told me that. I didn't understand like what they meant. When I got it, it was like injecting water. I immediately left Fridays. I moved on to Mochi, and Mochi had a more lengthy process. So while I was getting through the process with Mochi of getting an appointment and meeting with a provider and then getting the compound, it was going to take some time. So while I was waiting on my compound from Mochi, I had to go to another telehealth company. I went to Orderly Meds, who had a faster process. And that's when I went up to the 7.5. Now, so I ended up with a vial of 7.5 from Mochi and Orderly Meds at the same time. So I had them on hand at the same time because I didn't want to run out. So as I was making my way through the vial, the Mochi one was actually good. I didn't have any problems with it. I just didn't like that they had added the B vitamin addition. But so I got one vial from Mochi and never ordered again because I was used to not getting my compound mixed from Hollandale. So every time somebody mixed it, I would try it once and then say no. The one from Fridays didn't work. It was from Red Rock. The one from Mochi with Akita, it did work, but there was something about the B12 or B6 or whatever. It was something like something having to do with like depression, and I forget what it was, but I was like, I don't want to risk that because I already suffer from symptoms of SAD. So as I'm trying to work my way through the telehealth companies canceling and delays and all of that, I'm telehealth hopping, trying to make sure I have medication on hand. So I just said F it and went ahead and got the 6 month supply from Orderly Meds. At one dose. So I didn't realize that the 7.5 didn't get a fair shot for me, is what I'm trying to say. The 7.5 milligram did not get a fair shot because of everything that was happening at the time. The quality that I was getting from the compounding pharmacies just wasn't good. It just wasn't. And I ordered too much medication at once, just trying to make sure I didn't run out. So I was stuck with 6 vials of 7.5 of whatever, tirzepatide for 6 months. I was stuck with it. So I had already been on the 6 point something something was supposed to be like a week or 7.5 or whatever. So I had already been on 7.5 for about 2 months. One vial was bad. The one from Akita was good. I just didn't want it. I didn't want to keep ordering from them. And also, Orderly at the time was the only one I knew of offering a 6 month supply. So I just said, screw it. I went ahead and ordered the 6 month supply without verifying that the product that I was going to be getting from Orderly was going to be good. I talk about it in my video. I'm showing the vials during the Orderly review, and I'm like, I hope these vials are worth a damn, because if they're not, I'm screwed for the next 5 to 6 months. I'm screwed. I'm done for. I said it in my video. It was like back in December or something. I was like, if these are not good and I ordered 6 months, I'm done until the summer or spring or whatever. And that's how it worked out. So I would definitely agree that if a dose is not working, a person should titrate up. I'm not sure about a 6 week mark, but I'm not a pharmacist or a doctor. I just know that on a GLP-1, people's definition of not working, you ask 15 people that feel like their dose is not working for them. If you ask 15 people why they feel like their dose is not working, you're probably going to get 15 different answers. So, or what they qualify as not working, you're probably going to get 15 different answers. So not working is relative to me. It's relative because people will say it's not working because they're losing a pound per week. People will say it's not working because by day 6, they get hungry. People will say, like, I don't know. People say their dose is not working for a lot of reasons. The reason that I said it was not working was because instead of getting like 100% food noise suppression, I was getting about 60 or 70%. "14 would say they feel hungry." What do you mean? Day 14? I missed something. Hey, Ace. 14 would say they feel hungry. I'm not sure what you mean. So so the times that I stretched my dose to 8 or 10 days, I can't stretch my dose to day 9 or 10 and be like, oof, this is not working. Cause I had started to do that. I was like, this 7.5 is starting to feel a little funny. Like I'm not getting what I need from it, but I had started dose stretching. When I went back to the 7 days and I upped my protein, lowered my appetite stimulating foods, it was fine. And this is on brand. It was fine. So essentially, I felt like the 7.5 didn't get a fair shot, which is why I wanted to try it on Lily Direct or on Zepbound. I felt like the 7.5 didn't get a fair shot because the compound wasn't fully doing what it was supposed to do. If you ask 15, okay. 14 would say they are hungry. Yeah, but hunger's not a bad thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, hunger is not a reason to titrate up. Insatiable hunger might be a reason to titrate up, but just being hungry is not a reason to titrate up. To me, but I'm not a doctor. No. Like, it's hunger. Zepbound is not the cure for hunger. Zepbound is not the cure. Like, hunger is not a disease. I'm not talking to you, Jen. I'm just saying, like, people that feel this. Hunger is not a disorder or a disease. It's not. Like, it's hunger. Yes. I would say 7.5 got a fair shot with brand, but it's a little bit of a disadvantage because I had already built it up in my system for so long. So maybe that's not fair. But I just reached a point where I'm like, it is what it is. I stayed on the dose too long. So let me just go ahead and go up to the 10 because I'm confident at this point now that one brand is better. My experience has been better. My symptoms have been better. The effects have been better. What I need from it. Like after spending 6 months with about 60 to 70% food noise suppression, to go to the point of having 100%, oh my God, it was honestly like a godsend. And at first it felt like it was a bit too much. It did feel that because, like I said, I don't want 100% food noise suppression. I want like 95. Like I still want to be okay with having a funnel cake when the state fair comes. I wait all year for that. That's what people believe. Yeah. Now I understand the context of your comment of like, but I'm hungry. I ain't saying no names, but whatever. Like, so can we sidebar real quick? Jen, I'm waiting for the live stream from yesterday to process so that I can see the comments because I want to go back and review what you and Delilah were saying about that live stream that y'all watched because I only saw a couple of comments in I'm sorry, not Delilah, Journey of Life. Journey, I was asking questions like, "Oh, I want to be nosy. Tell me." And she was like, "No, this is for stereo." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I just kind of started not paying attention. So I went and watched that live, and I was like, "We need to talk." I mean, we don't need to, but there was a comment that was made by Journey of Life, and I'm wondering if I wonder if she was saying what I thought she was saying. You know what I'm talking? Okay, I'm talking in code. It don't matter. You're very smart. Very smart, Jen. I mean, I think you're the best ever, but about taking meds that don't work for you or make you ill. I want 100% food noise suppression. There's a huge difference to me about food noise and ability to indulge. I don't want, I look at food noise as cravings. I'm not looking to, like, I want food noise to be crushed about 5 days out of the week. That's what I mean. Like, I enjoy desire on days 6 and 7. That's just me. I enjoy that experience. I do. I like it when I want ice cream and then I can have it and I'm fine. Before Zepbound, if I wanted things, I, one, binged often, but two, like, I couldn't just have it and be satisfied. You know what I mean? Like, so being able to, one, control my appetite, right? There's a difference between food noise and hunger. One, I'm okay with hunger. I'm not okay with food noise. I really want it to be crushed, but I have now had the experience of having it 100% crushed, which is actually pretty wonderful. But I've also had the experience of, like, okay, it's day 6, 7, or 8, and the food noise is back, but it's not ravenous. It's just like, a slice of pizza would be nice. I'm not talking about what I did in Amsterdam. That was just me being ignorant. But like, a slice of pizza would be nice. Or I'm kind of in the mood for, like, that I'm kind of in the mood for feeling goes away when your dose is like really, 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 really good. And it's fine. I've had that experience. Like, when I first started on Zepbound, I didn't want anything ever. I had no appetite, no cravings, and it didn't make me feel sick. I just had no desire. I just had no desire. But then when I first experimented with stretching my dose and I had a little bit of desire, I enjoyed myself so much without overindulging. I enjoyed myself. I went out into the city in Chicago. I had some gluten-free pancakes. I forgot what I had for dinner, but I was just able to enjoy myself. So I'm kind of in the mood. Is it? Yeah, that's what I said. Like, food noise is cravings to me. That food noise is cravings, is I'm in the mood for, and I don't mind having that on day 6 or 7. I'm okay. I enjoy that. I don't want it on days 1 through 7 every day of the month. If I can have 100% food noise being crushed for 5 days out of the week or 6 days out of the week, but on day 7, or like I said, day 6 or 7, I'm in a mood for something or I have a craving, I'm okay with that. I'm not looking to never desire things again, is what I'm saying. So whatever you want to call it, food noise, craving, I'm in the mood for, I like being in the mood. I just don't want to be in the mood all the time. Just like I don't want to be out of the mood all the time. I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying people should want that for themselves. That's just what works for me. I'm not a big foodie, but the things that I do like, I really like. So I only eat a couple of different things anyway. Like, my variety is very small. So I'm okay with not wanting most things for most of the week. I'm okay with that. But like I said, like, if it's day 6 or 7 and I'm in the mood for something, I'm okay with being in the mood for it. Sometimes I'll have it and be satisfied. Sometimes I won't. That's the type of life that I want to live. I'm not looking to never desire sugar again. Like, I'm not looking to never desire a French fry again. Like, let me tell y'all something. I used to be a very serious French fry addict before Zepbound. I was not prepared for Zepbound to turn me off from, like, I physically can't enjoy French fries the way that I used to. So it has mentally turned me off. Like, I'll still eat it every now and again, but that addictive component is not there anymore because I physically can't enjoy it. I physically can't. I have 2 fries and I'm like done. Like I said, McDonald's is the exception because they have the skinny ones. So I can have like a small fry and I can finish it. But if I have like steak fries, waffle fries, crinkle cut, which is my favorite, I can have maybe 3 or 4, and then I'm just like, ugh. I'm in the mood for type cravings does not equal food noise to me. Okay, so Jen is saying cravings and I'm in the mood are the same. Wait, that's what Jen is saying. Oh, okay. You're saying food noise and cravings are not the same thing. Um, I mean, food noise, brain chatter. Food noise and cravings are not the same thing. Okay. So you can satisfy a craving, but you can't satisfy food noise. Is that fair? I saw a man one day who looked like he just finished jogging, but he was leaving McDonald's with a milkshake. To me, he was craving a milkshake. Okay, so you can satisfy a craving, but you can't satisfy food noise. Is that what we're saying? Fair. Okay. Okay. All right. So with that being said, then in that case, I'm okay with cravings around I'm okay with cravings because I have not experienced wild, out of this world cravings at all on since being on Tirzepatide. Well, no, I when I was in Amsterdam, and we'll talk about that on stereo. Yes, I did experience that. Um, Now, food noise, the chatter, like not your brain not shutting up. I'm more aware. I was never aware of it before Zepbound. When it got turned off, and then started to come back a little bit, like later in the week as I got used to my dose, then it was like I was aware of it after it got turned off. But before I was never aware of it. So you think I'm not okay with what I crave? Like, what do you mean? So if we're saying cravings and food noise are not the same, then food noise, then I will say then yes, less then I would want my food noise to be crushed. Like we don't have to conflate food noise and cravings. We can call them separate. So I would say when I was on that compound for 6 months, okay, I love the carbs. Not starch as much anymore. I love it. I could love it all I want. I can't enjoy it as much. Like okay, so let's break this down. Let's break this down. I wish I had like a whiteboard. Let's break this down. Sugar, yes. Sugar, I never had a problem with sugar when I was on compound. I started to have a problem. When I say never had a problem, like I never felt turned off from sugar when I was on compound, but I always knew I was eating too much sugar. When I switched to Zepbound, I got turned off from sugar. And because of habits and my relationship with food, I kept trying to eat it. So that's a relationship problem that I've been talking about that I need to work out. Now, as far as the other carbs, pasta, rice, bread, and potatoes, no, I physically can't enjoy those things as much anymore. So like when I had rice in that video, I hadn't had rice in like 6 months. Maybe no, okay, maybe not. Maybe like 3 or 4 months. I hadn't had rice. Pasta, I still have yet to make those that gluten-free pasta with meatballs. I actually just went and rebought it and I forgot to get the main ingredient, the ground turkey. But I still have yet to make that. Now, when it comes to the bread is a big deal because of not necessarily the carbohydrates, but because of the addictive properties of the gluten, which is why I have since removed it. So, as far as the carbs go, yes, when they're sweet, I still have a problem with that. Now, when we think about what terzepatide does, we get appetite suppression. So, that's controlling hunger, that's GLP and GIP. We get craving suppression for the most part. for the most part, on tirzepatide or Zepbound, I don't have that I'm in the mood for. So let's call the craving the I'm in the mood for. Let's call that the same thing. And then food noise suppression, which is the chatter, the nonstop noise, like, right? That also gets suppressed. So how do we determine whether or not a dose is working? Because that's how we got to this point of the conversation. Jen, you saying that 6 weeks would have been enough for you to say go ahead and move on, and I disagree. Now, so let's go back to my experience on that compound. My experience was, if I had a desire to eat something, I ate it. Whereas when I was on Hollandale's compound, I didn't have much desire. I didn't have much desire on that 5 milligram. I didn't have much desire. I leaned more toward not eating, so I had to work very, very hard to not force myself to eat, but I don't believe in under eating on a regular basis. So I had to make sure that I was getting my nutrients, and I struggled when I was on that 5 milligram because it was doing all of the things. it was crushing my cravings, my food noise, my appetite. It was crushing everything. So it was wonderful, but it was also that was some of the hardest time that I had on compound because I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat. And I don't believe in not eating, like, unless you're deliberately trying to fast for a specific amount of time. But I don't believe in just like habitually under eating, which is what I was doing on that 5 milligram. Now, when I switched to the crappy compound, I still had appetite suppression, so I didn't often get hungry. I don't recall suffering from chatter because before this point I was conflating cravings and food noise, but we've agreed to separate them. So now in hindsight, I don't recall suffering from chatter. I think that would have been torturous for 6 months, but I had cravings all the time and they weren't insatiable. So let's use the McDonald's milkshake example. I would crave the milkshake, use the milkshake as like insert whatever else. I would crave the milkshake on Monday. I would have the milkshake on Monday and I'd be fine. I would crave the bagel on Tuesday. I'd have the bagel on Tuesday. I would crave the ice cream on Wednesday or whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out there. And I'd have it. And this happened for 6 months straight and I never gained a single pound because my appetite was still under control and I didn't really suffer like mentally because I guess the food noise was suppressed. Like I don't remember dealing with irritating, like I can't concentrate chatter. I don't remember like being up late at night I don't remember thinking about food all the time. I definitely thought about food, but I don't remember thinking about it all the time. So maybe the food noise was suppressed. But the cravings, my choices in what I ate, it was free reign. The amount that I could eat was limited, but the choices that I made was free reign. So that was my definition of the compound not being what I needed it to be. That was my definition of that. And I have now gotten to that point on brand 7.5. I've gotten to the point where my food noise is crushed. My appetite is controlled, not crushed. I do get hungry, but I'm okay with that. And I don't get cravings for about 5 days out of the week. I don't get cravings for about 5 days out of the week. I would be full and still go eat something else. That happened to me before I ever tried tirzepatide. That would happen to me. That does not happen to me now. That doesn't happen to me now. Before tirzepatide, I would be full and still eat. I would not be hungry and still eat. That gives more like food addict vibes to me, but I've never been evaluated. But that doesn't happen to me on tirzepatide. Even when I was in Amsterdam, if y'all watched the video, I didn't want to wait for the food to get done. I didn't go get chicken and french fries because it was like I was craving it so bad. No, I was hungry and I had to wait 45 minutes for the food that we ordered to be done. And I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait. It was 12 o'clock at night. I was hungry. It was day 5 after my shot. And there were some other details that we'll talk about on stereo. But my Zepbound essentially got overruled in that moment. And I wanted to eat in that moment. So I went and got something different while the other food was still getting ready. Somebody asked me, did I eat all of the food? No. That was the thing. It was a waste. It was a complete another waste. Like, my desire to have a bunch of different things doesn't match my ability to actually consume it. Have I ever considered getting evaluated for it? Sure. I just haven't done it yet. It'll happen eventually. I do talk about it in therapy, but that's not what I'm in therapy for. So we focus on other things. And it just, the whole appetite stuff it doesn't come up a lot because I'm on Zepbound, but I've thought about being evaluated. I just haven't, like, for the past, what year are we in? 2025. So for the past year, I've been focused on trying to, no, it's been longer than a year now. It's been about 18 months. For the past 18 months, when I first started therapy 18 months ago, my focus has been help me with these symptoms of depression. Help. Help. That has been my focus. So no, I haven't switched over into being evaluated for food addiction, even though it's come up many times in therapy. Not addiction, but like how I feel about. So when I got to Zepbound and I was talking in therapy, I'm like, I can't eat anything. I had a dietitian to help me out with that, but it was just like, it's even more on the back burner now because I don't have the same obsession over food that I used to have. I do now, certain things that I do out of habit. Like, so for example, I'm in therapy now and we're working on coping because I struggle with change. Like, I don't like when things change. But that doesn't mean things aren't going to change. I just got to learn to cope with those changes. So one of those not one of the changes that we're talking about in therapy, but just for example's sake, something that has changed dramatically in my life is that I can't cope with food. I can't, yes, Jen, I likely would. That's why I haven't done it yet. I can't cope with food anymore. Now I don't know how to cope. I don't know how to cope. That's why I'm in therapy. I don't know how to cope. I can't cope with food. I can't self-soothe. Oh God, I need to take this retainer out. I can't self-soothe with food anymore. Physically and mentally, I just don't have a desire to because Zepbound helps with that. So I haven't found another means of coping. And coping with food was never healthy to begin with. But Zepbound has taken that away from me. That was what that stream was about. We didn't really get into it because, we're limited on YouTube about what we can talk about and say. But the whole food was my bestie thing, that was the stream where I was like, wait, we don't all have problems with food? I thought that was just like the thing. I thought we all had low-key food addiction. No, some of us do, some of us don't. The mentally not satisfied is terrible, like about food. I feel like it's so important to address the lack of food for longer. Oh, no longer being a coping mechanism. Girl dad. Hey, girl dad. You do what? Oh, the food addiction part or food, whatever. I was like Jen really surprised me because we had never talked about it before. And she was like, no, I just had a bad schedule and I was on birth control and I gained a bunch of weight. And I was like, wait, you've never eaten food to feel better? You've never no? Yeah. We are all so different. Yeah, that was very eye opening. I assumed all of the people that had gained weight from food and like I thought it was a given that we all had a problem with food. A lifestyle and other stuff, yes. And then there's the people that had like other hormonal issues. But the people that gained the weight from eating, I just assumed that it was we all had a problem with food. My antidepressant I take at night, and as soon as it kicks in, I get the munchies. That's my biggest challenge. Okay, Nicole, are you the same Nicole from Stereo? If so, you're gonna wanna join for the conversation tonight. So, have you looked into which receptor is causing the munchies when it comes to your antidepressant? I've never been therapy but what other coping mechanisms? Maybe a walk, working out. Well, that's what we're working on now. Um, that's what we're working on now. So I just established care about a month and a half ago, and I haven't been scheduling far enough in advance to get my weekly sessions the way I'm supposed to. So they've been working out to like every 2 to 3 weeks. So it's been like a little bit of a slow process. But coping mechanisms as far as like we like for example, we talked about in my last session, I do most of the talking and my therapist does not give me advice. She walks me into my own answers and then gives her professional like applies her professional toolkit, right? If that makes sense. But she makes not makes me, but she uses her skill set to guide me to my own answers and then essentially gives me like homework to solidify whatever strategy I'm trying to build. So I was going somewhere with that. So our last session we talked about I forgot. Oh God, I was just about to say it and then I forgot. It slipped my mind that quick. If I remember, I'll go back to it. Um oh, wait. Oh, hi Nicole. Okay. So Nicole, you're gonna wanna I forgot where I was going with the therapy thing. Oh, coping mechanism. So I forgot what point I was trying to make about the coping mechanisms and therapy. It'll come back to me. But Nicole, so about the whole appetite thing. So I had some, I really don't want to get into this on YouTube, but I will say I had some alternative appetite receptor stimulation that overrode my Zepbound, if that makes sense. So how Zepbound works to crush your appetite, I using the GLP-1 and GIP agonists for the GLP and GIP receptors. Well, I had some other receptors stimulated that caused me to be hungry and have the munchies. You Oh yeah, Michelle, you're a member, so you already know what I'm talking about. I'm trying, Michelle. I'm trying to say it in the most PC way as possible because HR is in the HR is in the chat. I went to the quote unquote cafe. That's what Sydney was calling it. But yeah, so but I when I looked up the definition, it was like no, this is real life an appetite stimulant as far as like there was actual receptors that are being stimulated, and I was like oh, cool or whatever. Um, I just try to get to bed before I make a bad decision. Yeah, yeah, and that happens even on Zepbound, right? Like so, even on Zepbound, your antidepressants will stimulate your appetite. Alcohol makes me sleepy. I've never had alcohol make me hungry. Has anyone had a problem drinking while being on Zepbound? I don't drink often enough to notice it, but I did have a couple of drinks last night, and they were pretty good. I didn't have any problems. So yeah. So back to that crappy compound. Hopefully, I remember the point about coping, because I would cope with food, get upset, get frustrated, impulses to eat. So a couple of things with that. One, it's the physical act of like, pause, don't be negative, putting something in my mouth. I have like a hand to mouth kind of thing that brings me comfort. I don't know why. Maybe I'll discover that in therapy. So that's for one thing. That's fulfilling. Then there are the endorphins that come from eating the poorly chosen foods, right? So I've never binged on apples. I've never even binged on bacon. I don't binge on protein or fruit. You know what I mean? So there are the endorphins from the highly processed food. Gluten is very special in the sense that there are some aspects of it that are very, very addictive that could potentially be worse than sugar as far as like how it interacts in the brain. Like it'll stimulate those opioid receptors like sugar does, but for me gluten might be worse, which is why I had to get rid of it. Also because of my sinus problem too. But gluten is to the point of like being able to affect your mood. Like they've even done studies with schizophrenics of introducing gluten to their diet or completely removing it from their diet, watching them get better, and then adding it back and watching them basically have an episode or become symptomatic again. So wheat is very, very tricky, but it's very, very tasty. And I have experimented over and over again with removing it and adding it back. And no matter how many times I do it, every time I remove it, I feel better. I have just been trying to live the life of moderation, but certain things I just cannot moderate depending on what goal I'm trying to achieve. Being sinus free and having a more stable mood, being less irritable, means that I cannot live a life where I eat wheat. I can't. I've done it enough times to know what life is like without it and what life is like when I have it. Life is easier when I have it because I have more options and food tastes really good and junk food and stuff like that. But when I remove it, I feel physically better, even though it's harder to navigate the world. So when it came to that compound, I would say overall it was about 70% effective, but that extra 30% counts. Like, let somebody give you your Zepbound at 30% less effectiveness. We would probably all be in here banging our heads against the wall. Especially if you're not in maintenance. Like if I wasn't in maintenance, if I was in maintenance, that compound would have been just fine. It would have been just fine. Because I was able to maintain for 6 months. It would have been just fine. But because I needed to keep losing, I needed some more help. Granted, I wasn't doing all of the things at the time either. I was alternating. Like I'd be good at the gym, but I'd be under eating, and then I'd start eating enough, but then my water would be low, and then I'd fix the water, but then my sleep would be bad. And it was a constant juggle of like, you got to find the right balance. Like I just could not quite get everything in balance. Then you don't know what you're missing, because let me tell you, binge on bacon. It's amazing. I did it more than once. I've been binging on watermelon. My uncle is a schizophrenic. So is my brother. He was hospitalized on and off since he was 12. He's now 75. He is a food addict. He loves sugar. So does my brother. He calls my mom and places his order, and it's always candy and soda. Yeah, same thing with my brother. Yes, I've had to modify my dose. Oh, my eyes. To 15. I think I'm reading the number wrong because my eyes are so blurry. Oh, I think this light is like, there's a bright light over here. Let me fix it. I can adjust the temperature on the light. Maybe that'll help. 16 and a half, I think that says. And maybe I need to clean my glasses as well. Oh, bacon and watermelon. I don't binge on bacon because I don't need to. I eat it every day. I eat bacon every day, but it's not like a binge. It's just like I have bacon and eggs every day because that's what I want every day. Um, so okay, so with that compound, right? It did most of its job. It did enough that the weight didn't come back, and I definitely appreciate that. But there was some weird stuff going on with that compound. Like my symptoms were different. I just didn't enjoy it, so I would never recommend it. Like that particular pharmacy, and I would never buy it again. I wish I hadn't bought that 6 month supply. So when I went from that to Zepbound, Zepbound was like a gift from the gods. Zepbound was like, this is exactly how this is supposed to feel. Turn it off. Then you can't see me. Oh wait, I could turn that one on, and I can turn. It's a mirror light. Turn off. Yeah, let's try that. Jen, that's why you're here. This is not my place, so I'm still learning stuff. LED lights can cause eye fatigue. Turn the lights off. Yeah, I just bro, I have to get my underarms waxed. It's crazy. I just be showing my underarms on camera without a care because I ain't looking for nobody. Luckily, I'm already taken, so it don't matter. I want Zep, but it's that $650 a month. Oh, you thought I was by a window? No, that was an LED light. See that? Yeah, that's an LED mirror light. Whatever. The lighting in this bathroom is not good. Can I get by? I can't get by a window because Tommy's asleep. Lily Direct, it'll be $4.96. 650. Wait, how are we getting 650? Oh, you're talking about with insurance. I'm not gonna pretend 650 isn't steep. 650, 500 is steep. It's steep. 650 is steeper. Have you considered getting the vials from Lily Direct? Like, have you considered it? Or, I mean, how much? Wait, hold on. Because sweet tea, how do you get your medication now? Oh, wait, are you on semaglutide? No, you're on compound. Are you on compound tirzepatide? See, this is what I mean. Like, I be forgetting because there's so many people. Yeah. Yeah, she's talking about self-pay with the coupon if you have insurance, but it doesn't cover Zepbound. So if you have insurance but it's not covered, you can have you can use the coupon, which will bring the price down to $650. But I think she's on compound, so she wants brand, but it'll be like doubling or tripling the price. I'm not gonna lie, I looked at the mochi prices and I was like, you don't need it. You don't need it. It's only $500. Just stay on Zepbound. Because Zepbound has been so good to me, the brand, that I don't want to go back to compound. I think once you switch, it's hard to go back for me. Like, that's my mentality behind it. And also, I got a bad taste in my mouth about how things worked out with compound. Or back then, I think things have gotten better. Y'all, are y'all doing okay with your telehealth companies and compounding pharmacies and stuff? I think things have gotten better, but I got a nasty taste in my mouth about my experience with compound. Not Hollandale. Hollandale's the one exemption. Hollandale has some wonderful compound, and I hear they're getting back in the game. So I might be looking at Lily Direct like, all right, you get one time to not get me my order on time. Not really, but so yeah, it's hard paying that $500 a month. $650 would be crazy work. But yeah, you could get vials for $4.99. All doses except the starter dose is $4.99 now. The only problem is Eli Lilly is insisting on locking people in with forcing them to order every 45 days. Hi, Journey of Life. Shipping is better, but they reduced the dosing for California. Max is 13.5, which is dumb. Hold on. Oh God, sometimes America gets on my nerves. Oh God. Oh, okay. 13.5 brand? Wait, what are we talking about? I missed something. 13.5 brand or compound? Remember when people got married for papers? I would get married for Zepbound coverage. I would too. I keep telling Tommy, go see if Zepbound is covered. Go check. I'm gonna come over here and be like, y'all, I got engaged to get Zepbound. Oh, compound. Okay. Ooh, I didn't know that. They're doing max doses. Ooh, I didn't know that. Oh, um, um, almost done with Sock Pal. Then I'll be back on brand. Hey, Nede. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were setting limitations on compound. Newsom is definitely a gang member. Newsom, right? That's y'all governor? Yeah. He definitely walk around with a gun. he walks around with a strap. But new scum. Journey of life. Wait a minute. You can only say that if you live in California, I think. I forget. Are you in SoCal? I think you're in SoCal with Alexis. Dude, new scum is something else. So when I go to California, eventually when I go to San Diego, I'm afraid that I'll like San Diego so much. The weather. I think the weather would be really good for my quality of life, but the pricing wouldn't be, and the politics of California wouldn't be good for me. Oh, Sweet Tea's in LA too. Aww. SoCal girls. I've never been. I want to go so bad. But like I said, like I get real bad SAD symptoms in the winter being on the East Coast. So I'm afraid I'll like San Diego or any part of Southern California. I'm afraid I'll like it too much, like weather-wise. Oh God, who's getting timed out? Who did it? Who did it, Jen? I don't think we've had a woman get timed out in a long time. Oh, it's Journey of Life. What did Jessica say? You got her, Journey. I've only had to remove one person this whole stream. I haven't had to put it on members only. Okay. So with that being said, we have figured out that a couple of things during this stream. And then I'm gonna start wrapping up. So we figured out that it's important to differentiate between cravings and food noise. Okay, I got that. And I'm okay with cravings, but I'm not okay with food noise. How about that? I was conflating them earlier. And I'm okay with hunger. So the more food noise suppression I have, the better. I don't need it to be 100%, but I would like it to be 100%. As far as food noise. Now, as far as titration, I still believe in having a checklist of things that I run through to make sure I'm in alignment before I titrate up. I'm not anti-titration. Oh, okay. Not shake it. I can't shake it right now. I can't shake it. Honestly, if I haven't seen other content creators doing that, I probably would, but I'd shake it for super chats. But I've seen other people do that, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm stealing their idea. But so I do believe in having, I'm okay with titrating up. I'm not okay with people staying. I'm not okay, or I don't believe in staying on a dose that doesn't work for you. I don't ever feel like the 7.5 wasn't working for me. The only reason I'm going up to the 10 now is because I'm at a point where I feel like this is a good time to get more help. After being on one dose for nearly a year, there's no point in fighting it. There's no point. There's no point. I would have gotten further had I switched to brand sooner or a better quality pharmacy when I was on compound. I would have gotten a lot further on my 7.5. So, V, have you had enough hydration today? When I'm dehydrated, my eyes tell me first. Does this count? So I just recently discovered that Zepbound causes issues with thirst. It took me a year to find this out. I did not know. I learned this during my interview with Lori. So probably not. Let's go get me some water. I have drink water today, but enough? Maybe not. It's hard for me to know what enough is, honestly. So I just try to do. Tommy is snoring, guys. It's hard for me to know what enough is. So I just go by the color of my TMI alert, my urine. If it's too dark, I feel like I need to hydrate more. If it's too light, I feel like I'm overhydrated. So I just try to keep it somewhere in the middle. The mod sniper, Jen is worse. I'm going up to the 10 milligram. Wait. Hold on. Who's the mod sniper? Who's the mod sniper? I thought you were talking about Journey of Life. All right, who's the mod sniper? I want to know. Oh, Journey of Life. Okay, while you're here, really quickly. That live stream that you were telling me about, you weren't talking to me. I was watching y'all conversation in the chat to some extent. But I went back and skimmed through it. Did everyone see? And be nice. I don't censor, but you know, it's still early, so be nice. And I feel like people get the impression that I be trying to like come for Allie when I don't. But did everyone see the live stream with Allie and Dowsize Diva? Yeah, did everyone see it? What did y'all think of it? I mean, we could talk about it on stereo. But now let me tell you, Delilah, my skin, it's better now. But when I got back from Europe, my skin was looking crazy. And I had a very expensive facial when I was there. They didn't really do a good job though. I've had better facials here. You're gonna stay with your thoughts for stereo. You made a comment yesterday, Journey of Life, that I didn't know what you meant until I went back and looked at it. So we'll talk. Actually, where's my phone? While I have y'all attention, let me just. Oh shit! I left the stove on, guys. Okay. Okay. Now, I made breakfast and didn't get to eat it. Or lunch, I guess. If y'all have an hour, I'm gonna go ahead and set up the show right now so we can transition over to stereo. And then we'll be back on stereo to discuss binging. That is okay. Turtle Diaries. I know everyone's calling you Sweet Tea because I think you have another channel, or is that what you go by? I just love the name Turtle Diaries. I really do. I was calling everyone by their YouTube name that shows up in the chat. Delilah said hi and bye. I was peeping. Hold on. First of all, y'all said y'all wasn't gonna say nothing, and then y'all started saying stuff. So I'm confused. Okay. So let me go ahead and set up the stereo show so I can share the link. Turtle Diaries, if you're not familiar with what stereo is. Oh, and Journey of Life. I did get your comment about the food addiction. We'll talk about that later tonight on stereo. But if you're not familiar, it's just a different platform where we can talk more freely and you don't have to type. We kind of talk to each other like we're on the phone. It's like a live talk type deal. I need so let me get the link for that. And if anybody was wondering, I don't think there's a way to stop it from automatically putting you into somebody's show as soon as it starts. I don't think there's a way around that, which is annoying. That's always been an annoying feature because it's like a radio style, I guess, platform. So like when you turn on the radio, you're automatically on a station for the most part. I'm gonna put a link. She ain't gotta go through all of that. I'm gonna link it right now in the chat. What do y'all think the title should be? Is that what I think it is? Oh no, did I hear? No, what did you hear? Review. Everything. Oh, no, I hate when it does that. I'm always trying to schedule one and it automatically. Okay. All right, I'm about to paste the link. Sweet tea, if you need time to get set up, that's fine. Don't as soon as you get set up, you'll be able to see what's happening. Why can't I see my own live? That is so weird. Gosh. Where's my live? Oh, there it is. Why can't I click on it? Hold on. I have the link, but now I can't share it. Weird. Okay, there it is. All right, cool. Here it is. There's the link to the show. I'll pin it, and then I'll stay on here a couple of moments to give people time to switch over. No, we're for the I want to talk about that live stream from yesterday. So we're going to go talk about that now for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how long y'all want to talk. But the binging is going to come. Oh, wait, what time is that show later? Hold on. So we're going to be on stereo twice. But y'all don't want to talk about it on YouTube, so I'm nosy. I need to know now. The one, okay, 8 p.m. is the binging one. You can't click the link? No? Probably because it's live. How were we doing this before? Let me put it on my community tab. Maybe that way. I forgot YouTube will block the live links. They'll block it on this form of live stream. They'll block it. Join me on stereo. So when it's on a live like this, unfortunately, you got to copy and paste it into your browser, and everybody got time for that. So I just put it on the community tab post. But for all of you that already have accounts, you know the drill. You know how to get over there. But for anybody that doesn't, you can copy and paste that link, or you can go to my community post, my community tab, where it's actually clickable. Whatever. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not clickable in the vertical line. I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that. But I want to, just a few minutes. I just want to, I'm like a dog with a bone. Like when there's a point that I want to make and I can't make it, I start getting irritated. So we're going to go over there right now. See, I'm scrolling back. See, what did I comment though? Oh, I said a lot. I'm not sure. I'll tell you over there. Yep. Yep. How do I get stereo? Yep. You just download the app. Download the app, create your account. It's going to ask for your phone number. If you don't want to use your own phone number, you can use a Google number. and they'll ask for permission to access your contacts so they can find other people that are on stereo. You don't have to say yes to that. And then you can find me at It's Vanity. The rich auntie, I'm a rich auntie too. I'm actually a broke auntie. Okay, I'm a rich auntie and a broke daughter. If that does that make sense? Like, I'm my dad's freeloading daughter child. But to my nieces and nephews, I'm rich. I'm not on stereo, but I love titrating up. But again, I have a private nurse that advised on dose increases. I've lost 53 pounds in 4 months. Wait a minute. 4, 8, 12, 16. The rich auntie. The rich auntie. Are you interested in getting on stereo? Because I have questions, and we could talk for a few more minutes until people come over. But okay, see you, Delilah. I'll be over. I'm actually live right now over there. I just want to ask a question real quick to see if the rich auntie is still here. So if you are interested, the rich auntie, you can come listen to us live on stereo. But really quickly, 53 pounds in 4 months is pretty aggressive. How do you feel about your weight loss? Like, do you feel like how do you feel about it? It's pretty aggressive. Did you have like problems eating, or you're okay with like your food and stuff? Oh, you can't talk there now, but you can listen? Oh, you love it. Okay. I was just wondering. I was just wondering. It took me a year to lose 50 pounds, but I didn't always do everything I was supposed to do. And I had some really bad compound at one point. Did you just find us? If you do, welcome. I hope you're subscribed, and thank you for falling out of the clouds and participating and leaving a comment. I am about to get off of here, so everyone that has stereo or would like stereo, you can find us over there at It's Vanity. Oh shoot, I don't know if I muted myself. Yes, I did. Okay. I'm here, y'all. Give me a second. You can see it's like that. They can hear me talking. All right. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you to everyone that watched the stream. If you missed earlier's premiere, go back and watch that video upload about what my experience was like when I was in Amsterdam being on Zepbound, because we're gonna talk about whether or not I binged while I was in Amsterdam. We're gonna talk about that on stereo later, okay? So go ahead and watch that video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. No real problems eating. When I first started, I didn't as much. Okay. Sorry, my eyes are bothering me. But I do take B12. Okay. All right. So set your notifications, Rich Auntie, to your liking. Just make sure you have them set so that you'll know the next time I'm live, okay? And I will